Well, after every legislative session, we pick a bill. It's often one of many that shows how powerful interests, special interests, get special treatment, like the time they passed a tax break in the middle of the night.
We're here at 3:30 in the morning.
That they said they didn't have time to read.
I don't know the substance of this House bill.
That the sponsor said would create new jobs.
Will pay great dividends for the people of Florida.
But by the definitions, it only applied to a handful of companies that happened to be powerful donors that got the tax breaks without creating a single new job.
Things like this happen, and they get away with it.
And there's the time they passed Ozzy's Law. This one added boater safety training after a young man named Ozzy Castellanos died in a crash. And then after the photo ops with Ozzy's mom, Isabel, they quietly undid it in response to the recreational boating lobby.
You go to one politician, oh, I don't know about boating. You talk to one and they'll say, you're fighting the boating industry. It's all about money. It's all about power.
There's also the time they passed a tax credit for businesses that hire in high crime neighborhoods. That added a specific line stating amusement parks can qualify for it, and then approved maps that excluded high crime neighborhoods and included the Universal theme parks and surrounding high-end resorts, which have since claimed around $17 million in the credits.
I walked around at nighttime. Not a problem. I feel safe with the kids.
Here, I don't know, I feel safe.
Only in Florida can you travel to a high crime zone to feel safe. And that brings us to the legislature's newest entry, which is buried in the fine print of its crackdown on social media companies.
Let's send a message to these big tech monopolies that Florida will no longer stand for their shenanigans.
Now, by shenanigans, they mean social media companies banning former President Trump. And by message, they mean retaliate by imposing heavy new regulations on those social media platforms. But they had some odd and kind of funny trouble defining what a social media platform is.
We're having a hard time trying to define it, so we weren't getting to the point where it wasn't capturing Disney Plus.
So they added this amendment that they may have hope that reading rather quickly and monotone with no spaces between their words amid a flurry of other amendments may have flown under the radar.
Any information service system, internet search engine, or access software provider operated by a company that owns and operates a theme park or entertainment complex does not qualify as a social media platform under the bill.
And that's when Democratic Representative Anna Eskamani said, wait, what?
They do it in a way where the public doesn't notice. They do it very quickly.
Representative, I'm just curious, why are you comfortable carving out theme parks from your deplatforming agenda?
We're not carving out theme parks, we're carving out companies that own theme parks.
That would, of course, include the Universal parks, which makes Comcast and NBC exempt from the heavy new regulations, and include the Disney parks, which makes ABC, ESPN, Hulu, and Disney Plus, among others, also exempt from these heavy new regulations.
Bend over backwards to create an exemption so companies like Walt Disney World wouldn't be impacted.
Now, this effectively means a user could post the exact same things on multiple platforms, and if they find it to be harmful or dangerous, NBC, ABC, ESPN, Disney, etc. would be allowed to remove the post and ban the user, while Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, the ones they claim to be unfair to their users, would not.
What is it about owning a theme park that makes a social media platform more fair to its users?
That's an interesting question, but to the sponsors, that's not the point.
We want to make sure that we're not capture anything that really wasn't meant to be captured in the first place.
In other words, they want to capture the sites that remove former President Trump and release all the rest. And in doing that, they created this huge loophole that the very companies they're trying to capture could slip right through.
Does that prevent us from being able to regulate what happens on Facebook?
If they bought a theme park and named it Zuckerland, and they met the definition of a theme park under Florida statute, then the answer to that would be yes.
And he wouldn't even have to call it Zuckerland.
If any social media company wants to avoid this new law, they could just buy a theme park.
And here's the part she's leaving out. They don't even have to buy a theme park. Look at this. As it's written, they could also buy an entertainment complex, which, based on commercial real estate listings, includes this putt-putt course or this dinosaur village or this amusement park currently listed for $275,000. For the most profitable companies in the history of the world, they might be able to afford that and throw the lawmakers for quite a loop.
Shenanigans, shenanigans, shenanigans.
Or at least shine more light on Florida's brand of money, power, and politics.